Ta-da!
Hi.
Hello.
Every time that pops off, I'm like, oh, we're on. We're
I
on.
know. I wish it could be like a little bit more subtle, but this is the involvement of our whatchamacall, right? Well,
Yeah, our
hello. Good
opener.
morning, Anna. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm good. Happy Monday.
Happy
Yay.
Monday. First of all, can I just say, you crazy. I'm surprised that we are having this today. You guys, if you don't even know what's going on with Anna and her family today, they have a lot going on. Not just today, but this whole week.
Yeah,
So,
it's a big week, but we figured we'd
mhm.
get into one last coffee chat
Right.
before we had and today is our season ender. Today's our
Yes.
season one ender. So how
You
good is
guys,
that? I didn't need
we're
a banger for it.
fancy. We are fancy. We're like,
Yes.
this is season one, 10 episodes locked in. And so
Yes.
this is how we're gonna roll out. We're gonna do it. But anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for kind of like being on our season one journey with us. We've definitely learned a lot. We've talked to so many great guests.
So
I
many.
mean, like literally. Oh my gosh, look. Hey, Michael, good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
This is early. He's in Hawaii, you guys. So I appreciate you checking in. But
Yes, for sure.
yeah. Okay, so Anna,
Yes.
let's talk about last week real fast.
Yeah, real quick. So last week we had our awesome guest Sharita. So we initially had brought Sharita on and to talk about like finding a resource or being a resource, but really it kind of morphed into this idea of just looking at what's around you and finding the hidden talents that surround you, not just in yourself, but in the people that are with you all the time. So it was an awesome show. And if you missed it, hey Nina. So
Hi,
if you
Nina.
missed last week's show, I don't know, 30 minutes in or something to the 15-ish minute coffee chat.
Right.
Sarita actually does this auctioneering chanting thing that was super awesome and
Yeah.
inspired me to want to go to auctioneer school. So at some point, I may come on and do that for you. I don't know.
Yeah. She auctioned off our show. So if you missed her, it's kind of interesting how we talk about just the hidden talents, like right, like you said. And Sharita was awesome. We were super grateful to have her.
Yes.
But today we're kind of excited because today's our first guest that is of another gender than me and Anna.
Right? We're having a boy on the show.
We thought long and hard, right? And we're like, maybe it's time. And then we were like, it has to be the right first person, and me personally, it was the right choice was to say we need to bring John Larson on. And John Larson happens to also be Anna's husband. This guy, we've met him at so many parties, and he is like a ham. Like, yes, her husband. Oh, sorry, her husband, and he's hysterical. So I think
he is a ham.
He is. You get to learn with him.
Yeah. So
whatever. All that thing.
Here's the deal. We just real quick explanation. So it's not like we didn't want men on the show. It's just that
Right.
when women talk with men, there's a different kind of conversation sometimes that happens. It's that that gender thing. Not that it should be that way or that we want it to be that way, but sometimes it just is that way.
Right.
And most of the people that we really know are women at this point. That's a large part of who Selena and I work with. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of fun. We're excited to have John come on. So when he does, remember that we're going to be doing our coffee chat selfie and make sure you do it because hi Sabrina. Yay,
hi, Sabrina.
I'm glad you're here. So make sure you do your coffee chat selfie with us. Hi Maria. Yeah. If you don't do a selfie with us, you can't be in our promo video for season 2.
Yes, you guys. We're taking our little sabbatical, our summer vacation, right, Anna? Like, see how we're here. So
like 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I mean, look, she's moving houses.
I'm moving houses.
Yeah, she's like big life, and so season 2 begins July 13th. So in that time, I need to craft a better rolling into our show thing, and so that's what's going to happen. So July 13th, you guys, that's when season 2 will premiere. So what Anna was saying is, today, take a coffee selfie with us if you haven't, because we might throw that in the promo and you might see your face. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Just do it. And if you haven't done it, all it is when we're going to take our coffee cup chat, selfie, whatever, that thing. Yeah, we take it. And then you take a picture with it. You can take it after since, you can't, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
I'm going to just tell you this real fast because John and my husband, like, sometimes they're not happy when me and Anna are together. Because we say 15 minutes and they know the truth.
They know it's rarely 50. I'm like, I'll just be a minute. I'm just going to drop something off. And 6 hours later, I come home. It's really bad. But it's not going to be like that today because John is our guest. This is not about Selena and I.
Hannah's husband has had to physically, like, slowly move me toward my car outside of their house so I could get in the car so we could end. But me and Anna are literally like, and then tomorrow, like, we're literally still continuing this conversation as if it's gonna, like, last forever. So anyway, bless you, John, for how he was helping. It was not, like, aggressive in any way, but we think it's hysterical. Okay, sorry, Anna.
All right. So, Kate. So we're gonna read John's bio, and I'm actually gonna read John's bio, and then we're gonna bring him on the show so that we can. All right. So, John is a professional soldier currently. He's also a serial entrepreneur and fantasy role-playing game RPG content creator. He has 5 great kids and a rock star wife.
Oh my gosh, who's that? I wonder.
He wrote this, not me. He grew up in Oregon, but considers the entire planet his home. John is at the end of a long military career, which spanned the majority of 3 decades and included assignments on 5 different continents. He likes to travel, commit useless trivia to memory, play tabletop role-playing games, try to guess the plot to movies with his outside voice, and brag that he could survive a whole week in the woods with just a knife.
Oh, Lord. Let's do it. Anna, you want to bring your husband in, Anna?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. You do it.
Welcome. He's in.
Hi, John. Welcome to the
party. Good morning. You guys are looking good.
Oh, thanks. You're looking good, too. Welcome to the show.
I showered.
I didn't even ask him to, so this is all him.
This is a big deal then, you guys, because John took a shower for us this morning. You don't even have to smell us through the computer, but he did. He went a little extra for today's show.
Well, the bigger thing is he's on leave right now because we start moving today. And so, I mean, that's, he showered and he's on leave. He even shaved, and that never happens when soldiers go on leave.
Not when I'm on leave. No.
They don't shave.
Oh, my gosh. Well, John, welcome to our show. Thank you so much for agreeing to put your mug onto our little show that we love to do.
No, I like watching it. I'm glad to be on it.
No, totally. I appreciate you because I think you're super supportive. And, just on the flip side, you guys, John is like this, like, he's like the virtual assistant to Anna, like around, like, in the background. He's got some great shots of Anna doing like her lives. He's awesome. He's a very supportive husband and a very brilliant man. So, all right. Well, let's get into the coffee cup selfie.
I know. John, we're gonna start it off with coffee. So get your coffee cup selfie. Let's do
my gosh.
Coffee cup selfie with John.
Yes, you guys, remember, this is what, if you want to be in our season 2 promo. Okay, ready? Okay, on 3, guys. Oh, yeah, ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Wait, get yourself together, Anna.
Ready.
Okay, and we're done. Okay.
Now I'm drinking this coffee.
Okay. Woo! Now we're moving on.
Yeah. After that start, I definitely needed some of that.
I know, right? Oh wait, here we have. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is Mama T. She is from California. Thank you for like watching us today. She is actually my cousin's wife's mom, but I forget that we're not blood related, and I think I am blood related to this beautiful family. So thanks for like checking in and watching today. I call her Mama T. That's just, I've called her that for a very long time. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, Nikki's joined us today. Yes, Nikki. Yeah, we know. Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to like quote box that, Nikki. Yeah, you know as well.
I had to take 10 days leave just to be on the show.
Whatever.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's get on with it, right?
Yeah,
Sorry.
So Selena, you're going to be introduced. Yeah, she's going to be introducing today's topic for us.
Yes. I believe that we're going to, I feel a little like, okay, Yeah, let's do it. Ready?
Yeah, let's get going.
Yeah.
We're going to
Okay.
introduce. Oh, wait a second. Were we supposed to start the 15-minute timer first?
No, that's not what it says here.
Okay, after we introduce the topic, we'll start the timer. That'll give us then
You
our
guys are
15
giving
minutes.
yourself some extra time.
Yeah,
a
we
minute or
totally
two.
did. We totally did. Okay, so we are rolling the dice, you guys. And I think,
Yes.
you know, when we talk about today's topic, transition, journey to entrepreneurship, you know, with John making, you know, a big change in the next year, this is like kind of like a great topic today to kind of like bring him into. So
Yeah.
John, make sure you have your dice bag ready for you, and we're gonna, you know, Anna's gonna explain.
I have one. I think I'm good. I always carry dice with me wherever I go.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
it's got a belt
you
loop
never know.
attachment.
Yes. Backpack.
right. Hey Anna, tell everybody, like when I say that, like John, make sure you have your dice bag with you. Can you tell everybody why we're even mentioning that?
I can. So this guy. This guy,
we are extra today, you guys.
He is a role-playing game enthusiast. So, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, that was the old Dungeons and Dragons era. I guess 80s, maybe mostly. Anyway, 70s, 80s, Dungeons and Dragons. And so role-playing games have really morphed and changed over the years. So he continues to play now. And what happens is when you roll the dice, it's usually at a critical point in your story. So RPG is all about telling a story, going on an adventure. And then there's a critical point and you roll your dice to find out what's going to happen. You know, John, correct me if I'm wrong. But if you roll high numbers, then something good happens. And if you roll a low number, then it usually means something not very great. Either your sword doesn't hit correctly, or you take the wrong path, or whatever it is, it's usually a negative consequence to what's happening in the game. So today we decided we'd have John roll the dice to kind of lead us through his journey today in this topic of transition, journey to entrepreneurship. So we're going to have you roll the dice for the first time just to tell us exactly how this coffee chat is going to fare for you. So if you can grab your dice and roll it for us and tell us the numbers and what that means.
Okay, so I have one here. It's a 20-sided dice, but it isn't as easy as just rolling the dice.
Right.
Yeah, so let's talk about a couple things. So
yeah.
Which characteristic will I have to lean on in order to succeed at this? Is this more of an intelligence question based on my wisdom, or will my outstanding charisma allow me to affect it? Because if I'm leaning on my heroic charisma, then I would get a +4 to the modifier, right? So is this an easy topic, or are you guys combative? I mean, you're friendly and helpful. So that's maybe another +2. So I'm already sitting on a +6. So I'll roll the dice and I'll let you know what it is. So I rolled a 4. That's not good.
No, got it.
No, but I add my 6 and it's a 10. So a 10's like right in the middle. I think it could go either way.
Okay. I mean, let's just be clear. When you said combative, we do have your wife on the show. So,
right.
I mean,
and I did wake up in a huff this morning. I did it. I'm so sorry.
Are we talking about your huff or no?
So I love that. Okay, so that is kind of why we're doing the roll with the dice. And you guys know that Anna and I love to research our guests, and we kind of incorporate a little bit about their backstory into how we incorporate that into business, right? And so rolling the dice, like Anna was just saying, there's so many things in business. Don't you agree, John? Like you just said, actually, which I never thought about, you had said, depending on which path, right? Is it, am I taking my charismatic self? That could be when you're networking out there to kind of like, you know, whatever, or there's that defensive mode, like when you're on the field and
No, you're right. That's all true. So that, you know, and to take Dungeons and Dragons and that sort of thing aside, you know, we all have our own personal strengths and weaknesses. And whenever you encounter a situation, or whether it's a critical event or just something simple as, you know, talking with friends, we as people tend to lean on those strengths of ours, right? And so, yes, in business, I think, you know, you lean on your strengths and you surround yourself with a party of people who can fill in the blank. So if I'm really charismatic, but I'm not very strong or not very fast, I'm going to work with someone who's strong and fast. If I don't feel like I'm really smart on something, or I don't have a depth of, wisdom, or I can't, my endurance is really low, I'm going to find someone that can, a workhorse that can push me and can hang out with me and prop me up when I need help. So I think that's the key. And it does bleed over from, role-playing games as essentially, a fantasy existence. And so people either play a persona that they would never ever be able to play in real life. So weak people will play strong people, dumb people play smart people, and that sort of thing. Or it's to amplify their strength. So a charismatic person will play a very charismatic person, or an intelligent person will play a very intelligent person, because it helps them with their reality. It's kind of a funny way of saying it, but role-playing games really does that.
Well, for sure. That's great. Okay. No.
It actually leads us really well into the toolkit. But Selena, start our 15-minute timer. I mean, we almost completely bypassed that completely. So, all right, so we're starting.
We go, guys. John smiles because he knows.
All right, so let's jump into our toolkit, which is actually storytelling.
Oh,
and kind of along that same way. So Selena, you want to tell us the thing that we decided on today?
Yeah. So Anna and I were talking last night, right, John? And we were talking about like what kind of goes with today's theme. And in the Dungeons and Dragons RPG, storytelling is very important, right, to what we do. And we know that storytelling also is super important in any business. We can't just be very cavemen and be like, tire, I build tire, you buy tire, right? Like we can't do that anymore.
Right.
Maybe there is that. Remember, Geico went in and did that, and it was super funny, but they were still storytelling, right? So we always want to like offer certain tools that we find very, very helpful. And this was actually mentioned by one of my dear friends, Brenna, is the Hemingway app. This is really awesome for people that maybe are not Anna, because she's a copywriter extraordinaire. And what this app is, it's free. Like it says, here's many tools to help with enhancing your writing. Today, we've chosen the Hemingway app. Free or paid version provides grammar suggestions and voice, sentence structure, and phrasing. And it's super helpful.
It's different than like Grammarly. What this one does is it tells you you've got too many passive voice sentences. Use less adverbs, too many adjectives. So it actually analyzes the way you're telling your story to make it the most effective possible. So really love Hemingway app. Highly recommend it. And like Selena said, especially for branding your business and telling your story, this is a great tool to have as you're writing website copy, Facebook posts. I mean, blog posts, articles, anything that you use, you can just copy and paste it into this editor. It is free. I mean, of course, if you have the paid version, you get more of the extras, but you can use the free version and still get quite a bit of use out of it. And super helpful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So John, here's my question to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you think storytelling is important for brands and businesses, and your business in particular?
Well, I think like Anna said, when you get a chance to put your stamp on something, it's got to be something that's memorable. And then I think another concept is that, we're all about the entertainment value of things, right? So we're a globalized communication with social networking. I mean, I could be anywhere in the world and be, participating, and we've already mentioned that there's viewers who are all over the United States. So this storytelling is it's an immediate gratification sort of, response. And so if you don't have something that helps you stand out, then you get lost in the noise, I think. And so your story, not only does it have to be authentic, but it also has to be interesting, and it has to be, competitive. And for me, for Old Gator Game, Anna can test this. I'm a serial starter. I'm really good at starting a project. It doesn't matter what it is: laundry, dishes. I mean, really, taking the trash out. I mean, but it's especially true with entrepreneurial stuff. And I have pages and pages of like, hey, this would be a good idea. Hey, this is a good idea. And for
Yeah.
Old Gator Games, the story I wanted to tell was that, you know, role-playing games, they're entering a renaissance, if you will, a comeback. And this comes from the, you know, the origins of the game in the 80s or the 70s and then the 80s. You know, it was known as the satanic panic back then, where parents freaked out about role-playing games. Like, this is, you know, this is something that's incredibly, you know, dangerous. And now it's probably pretty difficult to meet someone in society that doesn't have some sort of bump with, you know, fantasy role playing, whether it's people that dress up for Halloween or people that tell stories, you know, use a different voice when they're telling stories at bedtime to their kids, or even if it's just someone who embellishes their fishing story to their buddies, you know, sitting around the campfire. And these are all ways that I wanted to be able to project my, you know, my business, my corporate identity, if you will. I wanted to have that old school feel, since I'm an old school gamer. I wanted to, and I wanted to bring some new content that old school gamers could be proud of, and the new generation of players would be excited to use in their campaigns.
No, that's awesome. That's wonderful. Yeah,
and we should mention he did have his first what do you call it? Not module.
Adventure.
Adventure was published about a month ago or so, and one of the gaming e-zines. So super exciting as far as that goes.
Yeah, I definitely have a bunch of ideas. It's just a matter of executing. That's all. So I just need someone that's around the house to say, hey, you should probably get up off your butt, stop watching Swamp People, and, you know, write some. Oh yeah, that lady.
I'll send a note to your wife. I know her. I'll talk to her.
Okay, yeah, that would be helpful, because I need more.
Just everybody remind this guy right here that he asked for it, right?
Okay, that's fair enough. But I mean, it's like we said earlier. Hey, Joanne. It's like we said earlier. It's you know, you surround yourself with people that do things that you can't do. So I know I'm a bad finisher, right? So I need someone to help me get to the finish line. And so it's always helpful to have a business partner, and actually a partner in life, to be honest, that fills in those blanks where you're not really great. So while I'm good at starting projects and, you know, coming up with a creative idea, I'm just not very good at the execution part. So
no, but I think every team, though, John, needs somebody that is like the big idea person, right? Because sometimes, and then there's those people that are like the awesome executors, because they're like, they don't like to think of the big ideas, but once it's given to them, they're like, oh, I'll make this happen. You know what I mean?
One of my big ideas is to start a website called ithinkcrapup.com, but I haven't.
Was that domain taken?
Yeah, I haven't tried. I haven't even looked at it. I didn't even get past that.
You all heard it here. Don't go rushing out to buy that website.
No, you're welcome.
So, oh my gosh, you're hysterical. All right, Hannah, let's shift over. Let's get crack-a-lacking on our.
So we're going to jump into our first question.
Yeah, for sure.
So Selena, you want to put that overlay up for us? All right. So our first question is really about, because we're doing two things, right? We're talking about your transition and then your journey into this entrepreneurial world. So the first question is really all about your transition. You're in the last year of a very long military career.
Right.
And so when it comes to retiring from this long-term job in the Army, how do you feel about jumping into this unknown world where things are very different? The Army is a very defined structure, and this new entrepreneurial world is like handing you a bunch of sheets of paper, not even bound yet in a book, saying, all right, make something with this.
No, I think that's a great question. Well, the short answer is, I don't know what I'm going to do. So to expand on that, you know, the Army has been, you know, I've been in and out of the Army for the majority of the last 30 years, right? So it is a significant part of my life, but there's also parts of it that are not, you know, as exciting to me, right? So I came back from deployment after a short quarantine, and I put my boots on for the first time in like 3 weeks, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I think that part of the easy part of me, the easy part of the transition process is that I feel like I'm getting to the end where I'm not having fun anymore. And when you don't have fun, then it makes it easy to try to move on. Let's see. As far as moving on to something unknown, I've run my own business before, and I've had, my parents are entrepreneurs. Again, they've had their own businesses and they're super successful. So I've kind of learned from some good examples, and having Anna around and watching the success of NomadAbout is really inspiring. And then I really have like a parachute with retirement pay and things like that. So even if I don't succeed right away, I'll still be able to cover all of our expenses, just because, the Army does have, if they don't have anything else, they have a good retirement program. So
yeah.
Would you, John, sorry, Anna, I'm just going to jump in. Would you say, like, what would you say to others that are kind of like in your position, like, those feelings that they're feeling, right? Like, what would you say to your fellow guy, whether they're military or not? There's a lot of men that have long careers outside in the civilian world as well, right? So
yeah, I think the first thing is, I don't know the answer to that, right? I don't know what it feels like to be out of the military. I did have I was in for 8 years and got out in the 90s. So I know what it's like to get out, but it's not the same as, I'm done with the Army. I don't know. What I hear from other retirees is you got to find a hobby. You got to find something to do, because if sitting around on the couch is your idea of retirement, you're going to burn out from that really fast too, because like Anna said, you're used to a structure. I know that at 6 o'clock in the morning, I have to, be doing this, and this is the clothes I'm going to wear today, and this is the appointment and the meetings I have. And I know there's a lot of jobs that are like that in the corporate world and in blue collar world, but the military is very structured like that. So how will I do if I'm not very good at finishing projects, if I don't have that structure to help, to force me into that process, or to have the institutional knowledge like I do of, almost 30 years of military to know what's next, or to be able to anticipate what's next. I think that's a tough question. I would just have to say, hey, I don't know the answer, but if you need some help, then call me and we'll figure it out.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
And I think that's a huge part of it, is for anyone doing these transitions, finding those programs and groups and people that you can resonate with maybe a little bit as you're making that transition. I mean, it's the same for starting a business, right? Like I didn't know all the things, and I found Selena, who helped me with a bunch of things. I have this ACP mentor that's helping me with some of these other things. It's what you were saying before, John, about knowing what you're not good at, so that you can make sure you have the people around you that will help you with that next process.
Right.
Yeah, there's very few people who have all the answers.
Right.
And even the most talented and most experienced and most intelligent people still need that check. And your business tool that you put up yesterday, even the best writers still need someone to edit, and even the best editors need someone to check their work. And so it really is. It doesn't matter where you sit on the hierarchy of I'm an awesome person. There's still support. You can't do everything by yourself.
Yeah. No. All right. So as far as jumping into the unknown, John, we want you to get out your dice, because you're going to do a roll. I'm assuming we're still at +6 at
well,
this
it depends.
point?
It depends on what we're doing. Am I still using charisma as my primary attribute? What are we doing?
Well, that's kind of your choice, right?
Yeah.
Because this is your transition. So you tell us what your primary attributes are, and then you got to roll the dice, and let's see how this part of your life is going to work out for you.
Got it. Okay. So I'm going to use my wisdom. I think it's probably average, right? Average wisdom. So maybe my advantage then would be like maybe a +1. And then it's unknown. Is it difficult? Like I said, I've done it before, so I think I have some skill ranks, in this thing. And as an entrepreneur, I think it's a natural feel. So like a fighter can swing a sword and a magician can use magic. So as an entrepreneur, I can do this. So I have some skill ranks in it. Maybe I'm like a level 3 entrepreneur. So I'm giving myself like a +4, +5 or something.
Okay.
I like this.
We'll go with +4 just to make it a little bit,
As I transition. This is my success or failure. So
here we go.
I rolled a 15.
Oh, dude. You're all the way
You guys,
to 20.
yes.
You're going to rock this transition.
Yes.
Yeah, I got
all right.
Pretty amazing.
So again, if you have just tuned in, replay and watch this from the beginning so you understand why we are rolling the dice today with John. But this was a good roll. And this is a good indication of what is going to happen for John's future in entrepreneurship and his retirement and transition.
I think I felt like fortune.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Isn't that serious, John? Yeah.
Totally
like,
up to chance.
Don't roll a 1. I don't even know what numbers are on there. Don't roll.
A one would be bad.
right.
It doesn't matter how many pluses I have. A 1 always fails.
We're going to talk about that though later, right?
Yes, we are, because sometimes you do roll a 1. So we're going to talk.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Okay, we're going to jump into our second question, right, Anna?
Yes.
All right, popping this in. Ready, John? All right. Question 2, John. Why choose entrepreneurship with Old Gator Games rather than the 9-to-5 job where you can just clock in and out? Oh, it's our timer, but we're doing good. We're nearing the end, right, of our show?
halfway to the end.
Yeah. Like why something that is where you are all positions. You are the boss. Yep. You're the guy that cleans the toilet. You're the guy that has to go buy the paper for the printer. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why choose that path?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is that I think that being an entrepreneur gives me the same sort of flexibility that the Army does, to be honest. So the Army allows me to move to different places, to go see different things, to experience different cultures. And I don't know if a 9-to-5 job in the corporate world would allow me to do that unless I have a Department of Defense civilian job, but then I might as well just stay in the Army, right? So if I'm going to do Army stuff, I might as well just stay in the Army. I think that's the main thing. Coming home from this last deployment, so this 6 months without my family, and then having leave, and then some quarantine time, and then some mandated don't come to work time, I realized that I've been missing out on, spending time with my family. Mm-hmm. And I think that entrepreneurship, at least managing for sure a home-based business, it gives me an opportunity to spend time with my family. So Anna works from home, and we homeschool our children. And if we wanted to pack up and go because we're mobile and because our businesses are virtual and because the whole world can be a classroom, there's no reason why we can't just go do whatever we want whenever we want. And I think that that's the biggest draw. There's two, you always hear the books that say how to be your own boss, right? But no one ever reads the book, How to Be Your Own Employee. I am the worst employee, and my boss gets mad at me a lot. Right? So my boss, and from an employee perspective, my boss is a real jerk sometimes because I think of these good ideas and now you have to do them. But I think that's the other thing too, though, is that it's if I'm in charge of everything, right, then it's mine, and I have ownership of it, and having ownership of it gives me, that pride of success, and that I have to work harder because I don't have soldiers to help me. I don't have leadership to guide me. I am the guy, like you said. And at some point, it doesn't matter how many people you surround yourself with, smart people or hard workers. As an entrepreneur, it's still up to you. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be in charge of my own, entire destiny without someone, saying, hey, do this, do that.
No, absolutely.
And this is a good part to bring in the when you roll a 1 comment, right? So when you roll a 1 and things are not going very well, and you are the only one that you're the only one to blame, right? Because it's your business and you made the decisions and you built it and you're the one who's supposed to be doing all the things. This is where it's time to remember that even I'm going to bring it back to role playing. And remember, I am not a role player. I just know what John tells me. He tells me all, so, but even when you die in your role playing adventure, you don't actually die. Like, you don't leave the game and it's not like you're not allowed to play anymore. You roll a new character and you come back in a different version, I guess, of the adventure. And so just kind of tying that back into business things, when things don't go as planned, to remember that that doesn't mean it has to be the end of everything. That you can, roll that dice again, come up with something new and start all over again. And of course, there's not expendable funds like unending for anyone or anyone everywhere, but just to keep that in mind, that one failure does not mean the failure of everything.
Right.
And
I think it's important to say. I think it's important to say that it's not even a matter of starting over. It's a matter in most instances of just like hunkering down and weathering whatever the consequence is, right? So if I make a bad business deal, I'm not out of business. I just need to work. I just need to settle that one thing,
right?
Because, like you said, I'm going to have a chance to roll the die in some other critical situation too. And in the swinging the sword and trying to hit the dragon, if I miss, well, I'm going to just keep swinging until I hit. And if I get crunched by the dragon over and over, my character might suffer, but it doesn't mean that the campaign is over. It doesn't mean that the adventure is over. It doesn't mean that the story's over. It just means that you have to change skins a little bit. You have to, go into it with the knowledge that you had, previously, and then that's how you approach it. Like with it just makes you a wiser participant.
Yeah. No, I think what you just said is just like keep going on. A friend of mine, Michael, who had commented earlier, I watched him. We've been friends for many, 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 many years. And I've seen him participate in a lot of different things, right? And not allowing it to not continue to pick up the dice and continue to roll. He's been very successful. And I think, it's the ones that don't want to pick up the dice again, right? After being eliminated from this part of it or whatever. You do a disservice to the hard work.
Yeah, there's people that definitely are done. Like I rolled so many consecutive ones, or I rolled low. I didn't get to do any of those things during those critical events. I didn't get to participate at the same level as all these other players who were rolling better than me. And these are the guys that take their dice out in the backyard with a cinder block and crush them.
Yeah,
or put them in a bowl in the microwave and turn them to sludge, or huck them in the river and never to play again. So I think it's important. First of all, it's very few things in life are so serious that you have to chuck the dice, right? So it's important to realize that in many instances it's a game, right? And it's just you gotta know what the rules are. You got to be a smart player. You got to learn from your mistakes, and you just gotta keep trying. And in entrepreneurship, there's plenty of room for everyone to play. There's plenty of room for everyone to win. There's
so
plenty
true.
of room. Yeah, there's plenty of room for everyone to have their idea blossom into something that's amazing. And so I guess if I could leave anyone with some encouragement, it's just to keep on rolling, I guess.
Keep on rolling.
I like it.
All right. So before you get to leave this question, though, you know what we're going to do, right?
I don't know.
You don't know what we're going to. So here we got entrepreneurship versus 9 to 5.
Right.
You've chosen the path of entrepreneurship. You got to roll the dice and find out what's going on. So tell us what your strength points are and what direction we're headed here.
Well, how would I do this? So in this case, I have a map, right? So I know where I'm going. I mean, I know the direction I'm going. I might not know the exact path. I know that there's danger on either side and that sort of thing. So this is what I would do, right? So I'm worried more about random encounters, like things that are going to happen to me when I'm not paying attention, right? So I'm going to take a 6-sided dice, right? And on a roll of 1, it means that something happens along my path that I have to deal with that diverts me from my goal. Of 2 through 6 means nothing amazing happens, and I make it to my goal without any incident.
All right. So we're rooting
no pluses. Yep, no pluses. It's just a straight roll.
Okay.
I got a 5. So I'm good. Yep. Safe.
Easy breezy.
Yeah.
Yep. Straight to the goal.
Can I just say this real fast though? You know what I love, and actually our one of our first guests, Laura, she had posted something about like how they do this RPG for kids. And what I love and when I'm listening to you is I love that it's like it really, when you kind of like pull away all the like pretty stuff, you realize like, okay, this is teaching them how to make decisions, right? Or it's really giving them a lot of critical thinking things that will take them into life later when they're older.
I'll have to look for the link after the show's over, and I'll drop it into the comments. But there's a lot of organizations and therapists that use Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games and as part of their therapy to help shy kids come out of their shell.
Right.
And Dungeons and Dragons has always been thought of, the nerd game, right?
Down in the basement.
I married a nerd.
Well, I'd like to say all the fantasy guys that play fantasy football are really just playing jock versions of Dungeons and Dragons. But but we're all doing, it's now in the mainstream, and kids that would, are otherwise introverted or hard to make friends. Again, role-playing games allows them to either capitalize on their strengths or to minimize their weaknesses by, doing something that they would never have the courage to do otherwise.
Absolutely.
And so I'll look for the link, but it's being used more frequently in therapy, and it is helpful for kids. And there's a lot of D&D clubs at schools. There's teachers that use D&D or role playing. Even at the very minimum, calculating percentages and adding bonuses and then looking for targets. I mean, that's math, right? So at the very least, this is a math skill.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna just also say this one last thing. We did role playing like in the restaurant industry, like when we would have to do training. So I mean, it's everywhere. Just people like don't give it. They give it different names, so you think it's super different from like, you know what I mean?
Yep. When you rehearse a speech, or when you practice for an interview, or when you're doing that, or when the cop is coming from his car to your front door, you're rehearsing what you're going to say. That is all role playing.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
It's an everyday skill.
Right. Does that happen very often, Mr. Larson? Where the cops coming to your door?
Let's just say I never get a ticket.
Anna has. All right. Let's move on to our next thing. Let's move on to our next one. Ready?
All right. So
are we on the struggle bus
time? Yeah. So it's your turn to ask. And I'm trying to get this arrow in the right direction.
I know the first thing I'm putting in a box as soon as I get off the line.
This is the part of the show where, of course, we ask you if there's something that Selena and I can help you with in your journey through what the processes you're going through right now.
All right,
with her expertise in mind.
Yeah, so I've already mentioned a couple things. I'm really bad at finishing, right? So, but that's not what I feel like I need to mention. I'd like to know how I can get a what are those telephone call thingies?
He wants a discovery call.
Yeah, what's one of those? I want one. How do I get in on that?
You want to be one, or you want to have
I don't know.
A discovery call with us? Like
you guys talk about it in such a glamorous and no. So I think that the thing is, I come up with a good idea and I document it, and I kind of see a vision for it. Is how do I convert that vision to action?
Okay, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So I think it really is different for everyone, right? So I am a just get it done person. So for me, it happens naturally where I see the vision, I write it down, I know it needs to be done, I just do it. So I think for people that struggle with that, one of the things I would say is keeping yourself organized, either a planner, whether it's handwritten or online, but something where every day you can look at your to-do list and feel some senses of accomplishment by checking one completely off. And with that being the goal, because there's lots of times you can start 7 different things on your to-do list, but never quite finish any of them. And so I think that people that have and I'll just not necessarily people, but John, you in particular, when you have these struggles with completing a project, if it were to be today, this is my top priority. And then if I have extra time, I'll move to this and this. But with the idea of I'm going to completely finish this task. And sometimes it's also, I would add to that, itemizing exactly what the task involves to what you feel is completion.
So like subtasking to the main task.
Yeah, so subtasking the main task. So if you don't complete it, you can at least see where you're at in the process. I think there's a motivation factor that comes with being able to see where you were versus where you are now. So Selena, what would you say, Selena?
For me, like on the retro, if it's in your budget, because I've had this, you can hire a VA. That person is a VA, is a virtual assistant, someone that just kind of helps you with certain tasks that you have a hard time, right? Because sometimes I can't even manage my own checklist that I'm creating, but if somebody keeps tapping me physically, like, or virtually, hey, Selena, you haven't come here, they're really holding me accountable to my own checklist. So there's a lot of virtual assistants out there that you can hire that are affordable, and that, me and Anna both have one, because we can't do all of our own tasks, right? So I think that's definitely something to consider and look into. Even if it's just you budget yourself $100 a month, but that $100 is really going to help you get things executed, right? If you have more completed things that are going to give you this whichever, then
I want to bring this up. So Tracy, a friend of ours from Oregon, she says, I have a coach who said, start your to-do list with a verb, makes it actionable and directs you to what you have to accomplish. I love that. I think that's a great way to itemize things. So it's not a, laundry. It's sold the laundry. So you do know exactly what needs to happen with the thing you're doing.
I think the risk is to put the word do at the front, right? So do the laundry, do the dishes, do the garage, do the cleaning, do the, I think that would be it. But I think it would be more manageable if it was very specific, like vacuum the car instead of, or
no, that's true. Good.
It breaks it down.
Good advice, Tracy.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, seriously.
Hi, Tracy.
Yeah. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Okay. All right. So John, tell us where they can find you. Selena, you want to throw that?
Yeah, I think that what I'm trying to do right now, at some point I'm going to, I'll have a website that's, more inclusive of what I'm doing. But right now I'm just kind of pre-paving the road, if you will, on Facebook and Instagram as Computer Games.
Love it. Go find him, you guys. Just kind of start, help an entrepreneur just by liking their page. Just help a fellow person out. But I think that's great. So go find him. I love this picture that you submitted, John, of you and Anna. So I wanted to pop that in there. Yeah, she is. She's amazing. But John, thank you so much for being on today. And I seriously, this is really great. I feel like now I want to go find some dice and be like, all right, I'm going to give myself some skill things. And I don't know, it's going to be regular, but
you and your family would have fun doing it.
No, we'll have to do that. We'll have to do that when we can.
Yeah, it's kind of fun too. So for anybody that's out there listening or that is rewatching this on the replay, take a pair of dice, give it a roll. Let us know what happens. Like what's going to happen in your story. Give yourself some skill points and charisma points and weapon points, or whatever you're arming yourself with. And let us know how your journey is going as far as.
I would like to say, if you're watching and you have kids that are interested in this game, that I think like I said, it's an incredible value as far as being able to develop confidence, critical thinking, teamwork, and storytelling. So if you have questions on how to get your kids involved into role-playing games, where should I start? How should I get going? I think you should message me and I would be happy to figure it out.
Yes. Seriously. Now you have a resource, and he's got such a great personality. I know that the kids adore him. They think he's super funny. If you've been to any of our parties where John dresses up, man, you're in for a treat. Seriously.
I should have pulled some of those pictures for this coffee chat.
Right?
You should see the pants I'm wearing.
Yeah, I've got one more comment to show. So Michael over at Tiki's, he rolled the dice. He's late to work. So Michael, we made him late to work with our coffee chat. Loved it. Anyway, Okay, so all right, so just to kind of wrap it up, just to let everyone know, first of all, toss in, if you have a transition story, give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. We're curious to see how many people really use that transition story as part of their business branding. And then secondary, like we mentioned earlier, we are on summer break. Our season 1 ends with Mr. Larson as our episode 10. So we're taking a 3-week break and coming back on July 13th with Chandel Walker. And so you want to say a little something about Chandel? She's going to start our season 2.
No, she's totally, like we said at the beginning of the show, this is, John, thank you for actually helping us be our wrap-up show for season 1. I think that was perfect. And we're super excited. Anna and I met Chandel at a USO workshop. And how we met her is we just happened to sit next to her, and then we just kind of like fell into this. I mean, I had to actually pull Anna away because we had to make another appointment because we were so enthralled with talking with Chandel. So we're excited to bring her on. Again, she's like our 2020 Fort Hood, Armed Forces and Trans Military Spouse of the Year. And then just real fast, I just want to real quick go back to Anna and I, when we talk about transition, John, Anna and I have been through transitions like you, in that sense of just really changing as military wives, as all the things. So, I don't know. I just kind of I appreciate you coming in and bringing storytelling as part of our episode today, because, I think, everybody does transition, whether they see how big or small it is. Right. And just, I think that, Anna and I, we chatted last night, we're Anna and I went from a civilian career into marrying a military person and giving that up in that sense, to move, and then trying to re-figure out who we want to be, becoming mothers. That's another transition. All the things. So.
And your transition isn't limited to just you. It affects your family.
Right.
Just like mine does affect my family too. So when you are transitioning, just make sure you're including as many people that you care about as possible, so that there's no big surprises. Not like, oh, by the way, we're moving. See ya.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think the message to Anna and I really want to tell everybody is make sure, roll the dice, and tell us how that goes, because we I don't know, but okay.
Yeah, we want to know.
Yes.
All right, so I got to do this one last time.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Mr. Larson, for joining us on the show.
Mr. Larson. Remember, guys, we're taking a 3-week vacation. We may pop in randomly, but not all fancy like this. So we'll just check in and say hi. But Anna and John, good luck with the new adventure, because you rolled the dice and you got a great house. So you definitely, I know you rolled high on that one.
You'll have to come visit it later.
I think I already spray painted my parking spot. Selena's spot.
Yeah.
I think, perfect. I don't know if you saw that yet, John, but,
and thanks everybody for joining us today.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all your comments. Remember to drop your coffee cup selfie photo so that we can add it to our commercial for season 2. Don't forget that part. Okay.
Don't forget. So, cheers, everybody. Have a great summer. Cheers. We'll see you in July. Bye, guys. Bye, John.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, John. Thank you.